Le Cholo Truck, Los Tres Chingones, Boxing Shots, all the Chingones, y Chingonas. We are an hour early today because of what is taking place. One of the greatest fighters of all time from Puerto Rico, man. And let's go ahead and bring in the big fan of his, El Gran Chingon, El Metal One, Mr. David Contreras.
A big fan of his. That's a good one, Ed. I can't wait till Mikey come on. We'll say that it's his protege.
Yeah. Mikey, we'll see if he jumps on or not. We are an hour early because of what's going down on Netflix today. You got some fights going on right now on the Netflix YouTube channel, or MVP, I'm sorry, on MVP. They're showing some prelims. But with that, David, let's go ahead and let's get into it, brother. Let's talk about the fights that happened over the weekend. Tito Mercado goes in there and does what he's supposed to do. Were you impressed with the way he looked?
Yes, I was. Knowing that he just had surgery, I think he had a torn labrum or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but it was on his shoulder surgery. And I think he needed the rounds. When he first knocked him down in the first round, you could tell that he was upset because he even said afterwards, he goes, when I knocked him down on that flash knockdown, I was like, oh man, I needed the rounds. I think that, dude, I think he's a real deal, man. I can't wait for Matchroom to really start pushing him. I think he's a real deal. I think he's going to be a world champion.
Yeah. I've been hearing about him for quite a few years. My barber, he's the first one that told me about him quite a few years back. He says, man, this guy is like all that on a bag of chips, right? And I've seen him and I'm like, okay, look, I like him. And you're right. Maybe he could be the next big thing. Maybe. As it stands right now, David, at least for me, he doesn't stand up to the hype, but that's not his fault. That's not his doing. That's all the locals that I'm hearing around this area. I live right around the Pomona area that are really hyping him up. And I'm like, okay, look, he seems like a good fighter. He looks good. Okay. I think it's a little too soon for me, at least, to say, like, you know what? This kid, man, keep an eye on this kid. Yeah, keep an eye on him. But I'm a little bit more impressed with like Emiliano Vargas. Not to say that Tito won't be better than Emiliano. I'm just saying maybe Emiliano has the name, and that's probably what it is. But Tito, yeah, I like what I see from him. I do. This was his 18th fight, I think it was, David.
18 fights, 17 knockouts. 18 fights, 17 knockouts.
Well, where should they go with Tito Mercado from here?
You know what? He's been calling everybody out, Ed, including Emiliano Vargas. He's been calling Emiliano, hey, what's up, G Punky? Hey, Pomona Souls, right there. That's his backyard right there, man.
Yeah,
you know what? He's been calling him, and he's been calling everybody out. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be the next Canelo, but I am going to tell you he is going to be a world champion. He is, without a doubt. I mean, even Snake, what's his name? Sergio Mora was even praising him, and I just think that he just wanted to. I think he could have taken that guy out if he would have really pressed him on the first round, would have completely knocked him out. But you know what? I think that he just needed the rounds. I think he purposely needed the rounds. I like this kid. I think he's the real deal. But like I said, I don't know if he's going to be the next Canelo. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that he would give Hitchens a good run for his money, and without a doubt, he could beat Emiliano Vargas right now. And it'd be smart. And I don't think they would put Emiliano in the ring with him right now. It wouldn't be smart. It would not be smart because one of them is going to get hurt. You know what I mean? This guy hits hard, and this guy knows how to box. And this guy, he's a real deal. He's a real deal. I'd like to see him fight Hitchens. That's who I would like to see him fight. Or what's his name? We talked about it last week. The other world champion that was a champion, now he's back from Puerto Rico.
Subriel Matias?
Yes, I would love to see him fight Subriel Matias. He's ready to go in against the champions now, I believe. I believe he's ready to go in. The one that I don't want to see him fight right now is against what's his name? The best
And
one in the division,
Antoine Russell.
Antoine Russell. I don't
Okay.
want to see him there yet, but I think he's ready for one of the champions. I don't want to see him against what's his name, Teofimo Lopez either. But the other one we just mentioned right now, I think he's ready for him, but not for Teofimo, and definitely not with Antoine Russell. Not those two.
Okay. All right. Just in case anybody's wondering, my background and everything. No, I'm not being held hostage. I'm just changing. I'm changing up one of my rooms. Hopefully by next week, it looks a lot better. So we get something going here. Um, so just to make it clear, David, did I hear that right? Right now, you favor Tito Mercado over Emiliano Vargas if they
Yes,
go head to head?
yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because
Really?
I think Tito, his problem was he didn't have a good. Well, I don't think he had a good matchmaker. Number one, but number two, he didn't have a promotional company behind him. Now
Mm.
with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn was up there too, standing next to him. So I hope that Eddie Hearn puts as much of his publicity stunts that he did for Shakur Stevens and that he did for Berlanga, that he's done for other fighters that he's brought over. I hope he does his magic with this kid. This kid could be the real deal. He did it with Pacheco. When he
Yeah.
took Pacheco, I mean, he made him a star, and we'll talk about that. And you know what? I hope he puts that same energy into Tito. Tito needs it. I think he's a real deal.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this, David. Should Eddie Hearn have Tito fight in other places around the world or keep him here?
Keep him here. The reason why is because America doesn't know him. Like you said, the only people that know him are East LA and Riverside Inland Empire. Over here in Florida, nobody's heard of him. You know what I
Okay.
mean? We need to put him here. We need to put him on these cards. I would have loved to have seen him fight today in Miami. I mean, against anybody. I mean, I would have loved to have seen him fight in Miami. Oh, yeah. Well, take him to the UK. Take him to the UK. But I'm telling you, we need to get his name known, name recognition in America, because that's what pays the bills.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, only dudes from the hood really know who he is.
Yes.
He doesn't have the name of like a Virgil Ortiz or anything like that. Only guys from the barbershop might bring up his name. That's how I first heard of his name quite a few years ago from the barbershop. And they're just like, yeah, man, he's right here from Pomona. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep an eye on him. No, look, I like the kid. I still don't see anything special yet. That doesn't mean that he can't get there. And maybe I'm just not seeing him right. But I like what I see from him. Do I favor him over Emiliano right now? No, I don't.
What
But
about against Keyshawn Davis?
that'd be good, man.
That would be a good
That'd be
fight.
good.
It's
That'd
not a
be good.
championship fight like Pomona. What Pomona said, Sal said. It's not a championship fight, but it's a good fight for name recognition. Put him against Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. That'd be good. So, hey, we'll see what happens with Tito Mercado. Let's keep an eye on him. Hopefully, 2026. Well, before we end it with Tito, by this time next year, David, where do you want to see him? How many fights should he have, and should he have fought for a title by this time next year?
I think by this time next year, he should be ready to be fighting for one of the belts. But like I said, I don't want to see him against Theo. But even though I think Theo, whoever wins to Theo or Shakur, they're going to go to 147. At least
Mm.
Theo's going to go to 147. By this time next year, I don't see him ready for Antoine Russell or Teofimo if he wins and stays with the belts. But against Subiel, yes, I definitely see him. And against the other world champion, I definitely see him. And I agree with G Funky, the one against Emiliano Vargas, let that one really marinate. 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? It'll be an Oscar de la Hoya versus Vargas. It'll be like that. Let it marinate. Because they talk a lot of trash to each other. They talk a lot of trash to each other.
Yeah, you know what? Keep those guys away from each other.
Yeah.
Keep them away from each other. Let both of them keep building. They're both still young. Let them keep building their brand. Let them keep getting up there. And then when the time is right, yeah, make a fight, man. That'd be good. They could go to Vegas, do it in Vegas, and it will sell out. You know, if they build them right. By this time next year, David, I say he needs to fight for a world title, either late 2026 or early 2027. He needs to be fighting for a world title, and not only that, but the most important thing, at least for me, is staying busy. I hope we see him minimum 4 times next year.
Hey, Ed, what have you heard about him personally? I mean, being right there from the barrio, being Ontario so close to Pomona, I mean, is he disciplined? I mean, do you hear that he has a lot of passion for for boxing? Because I mean, he definitely has the mouth. I mean, he's calling everybody out, and he has a personality too. He has the looks, but does he have that discipline? I mean, are you hearing from people there in the neighborhood talking
You,
about that the dude's committed to boxing?
that's a good question, David. I've never heard anything and anybody bring up anything about him at the club or at the bar or at any parties or anything of that sort. I've never heard anything like that. Nobody's brought it up, but I can't say.
Sal's saying yes. I guess he knows him.
Okay, okay. I
Mhm.
look. I'll ask because he does. Again, my barber knows who he is,
Mhm.
right? He's right there, right on the borderline of Pomona, and he's the first one that told me about it. That's never been brought up, but I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask, like, hey, is this kid disciplined? Is boxing his life, or does he like to hang out on the weekends and party a little bit? But yeah, I'm definitely gonna ask. So hopefully he's a disciplined kid because he's
Yeah,
got he's got a bright future ahead of him. David,
dude, and he's very well built too. I
he
mean, the
is.
guy looks like a little Bruce Lee, literally like a little Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you can tell that this kid works out. It's real, you know.
He's definitely gonna be moving up in
Yeah.
weight classes. Let's see how long he stays at 140. Still very young. David, let's get to Diego Pacheco against Kevin Sanjo, I think his name was. Okay. Pacheco, David, this was his first fight with his new trainer. However, I found out that this trainer was with the Benavides camp. So it
Yes.
wasn't like somebody's just brand spanking new. Like, no, this guy was part of the Benavides team and he left with Pacheco, trained him. David, Pacheco was getting caught, man. He was getting caught left and right with these overhand rights with the hooks. Sandro was catching him. Yeah, he was catching him. But David, what did you see in this main event?
I'll tell you, brother. Pacheco, I am not impressed. Number one. Number two, was not listening to his coach at all. And I understand that his grandmother or his grandmother, we'll call her his grandmother, he was going to about my high, go Broncos. Um, she had just passed. You heard him at the end talking about, his abuelita passing. I could see that, but I mean, I'm going to say it, dude. He's a name of the past, man. They might make him a paper champion just
Mhm.
because Eddie Hearn is involved, but is he the real deal? No. Even if we put him with Mandy Robles, even if you put him with Diaz, you put him with whomever you put him with, dude, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the charisma. He doesn't have the style. He doesn't have uh, the it. You know what I mean? He just doesn't have it, man. No matter who you put him with, and yeah, and then, like I said, he might be a champion because right now that Crawford is retired, all the belts are open. And if anybody can make him a paper champion, it's Eddie Hearn. I mean, he made Devin Haney a paper champion. He can make him a paper champion, but it's not going to last long. Resendez will knock him out. Billy will knock him out. I like to see him fight. What's his name? Plant. That'd be a good fight for Plant. But
Mhm.
against the main guys, dude, he's not going to last.
Every time I hear the term paper champion, it reminds me of Rocky 3, Mr. T in there, Clubber Lang. Would you say paper champion? One of the best villains in all of movie history, man. Clubber Lang. Yeah, you know what, David? I think I've seen all I need to see from Pacheco to
Yeah,
say he's gonna be a good, decent fighter, but he's not gonna be an elite guy. I I don't know who he can go with where they can change it up. And now look, there have been some guys, David, like Zurdo. I thought he was always terrible. I thought Zurdo was always terrible. I'm like, man, this dude sucks, man. But he's huge and he's a southpaw and he could take a bunch of punches. But I thought he was terrible. But he did change up his stilo. And
yes, he
now I'm
did.
like, okay, you know what? Now he is good. So maybe that can happen with Pacheco. As it stands right now, David, I think I've seen enough where it's like, okay, you know what? This kid can beat up on a bunch of journeymen. He can
Yes.
beat up on a bunch of C plus, maybe even B minus fighters. But yeah, I don't see this kid. And I'm with you. I'm with you with the whole paper champion thing. Right now, we'll get to the whole Crawford story in a little bit. But right now, all the titles have been released, and I think he can land one. Yes, is he going to land one because he's an elite fighter? No, but through promotional and politics, going through the right paths, yeah, I think he could definitely land one. But I think I've seen enough, David, where I'm just kind of like, you know what, this kid, he's just a journeyman. He beats up journeyman. He beats
Yeah.
up journeyman. He got hit a lot, David. He got hit a lot. There's those talks of him versus Christian and Billy. I think and Billy will take him out now.
Oh, he'll take him out. You know what? I agree with Sal. He just put, you know what? Mungia. Him against Mungia. That would be because you know what? Mungia's a journeyman. I mean, Mungia, he's not a world champion. They can make him a paper champion too, but Mungia is not gonna be able to last against Mumbili, against some of the Resendis. Not gonna be able to last against him. Shiraz, I mean, they can't last against these guys. Resendis is a real deal. I like him. I agree with you, Sean. But him against Mungia, Pacheco Mungia, that'd be you know what, and make it in L.A. That would be a sellout. That would be a sellout. And I'm,
Yeah,
I'm not I got it 50-50. I can't say because I mean, well, he has a glass jaw.
and Shawana Rain Resendis, if anybody doesn't know, he is right now, since the titles have been relinquished, he is the one and only true champion at 168 pounds.
Is he really? They made him a
Yeah.
champion?
Yes, he is. I forgot what alphabet title,
Uh-huh.
but he got elevated to full champion. So right now he's the
Really?
only 168 true pounder. All the other titles, they're just out there floating around waiting for somebody to pick them up. But they
That's awesome.
whatever alphabet title, I forgot which one it was, they elevated Resendis to be the champ on that one.
Great.
So there he was calling out Mungia. After watching this fight, David, I'm like, man, I think Mungia will kill this kid. Let me ask you this, David. Could it just be that Sandro is actually pretty damn good? I
Yes.
never heard of this. Look,
Sancho's good, man.
I never heard of this dude. This
Yeah.
was the first time I seen him. He is undefeated. Who's he fight? I got no idea. But could it just be he's 5'8" and he was catching Pacheco, a dude who's what 6'4"? He was
6 foot
catching him with some
four.
good shots. Could it
Yeah.
just be that maybe we need to keep an eye on Sanjo? That maybe he could be a little bit of a dark
You know
horse?
what? Sancho is a very good fighter, but we were expecting more from Pacheco, especially now leaving Jose Benavides. He's worse than when he was with Jose Benavides. And you know what? He's always been a boring fighter. You know what? We're all talking about him because Eddie Hearn has been really pushing him. And like I said before, hopefully Eddie Hearn's going to put that same energy on Tito Mercado because Tito
Mhm.
Mercado is a real deal, I believe. You know what I mean? Hopefully he's going to put that same energy on Tito Mercado that he's done, made us believe that Pacheco's this next phenomenon, which he's not. He's a very boring fighter.
It
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah, you're
Royce
right. Yeah, it
Gracie.
was a UFC fight.
Yeah. I remember years ago when UFC first came out, the big matchup between Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie. It was the most boring thing I've ever seen. Gosh, man. Let me see, Joe Goosen, and Joe Goosen is in the news too, man. We'll get to him in a little bit. Should he change trainers? Should he stick with this guy? I don't know who this guy is. I just know that he was part of the Benavides camp. Should he switch trainers? Who would you like to see him go with? If you're in the corner of Pacheco, if you're his advisor, where do you want Pacheco to go?
Manny Robles. Go to
Okay.
Manny Robles. Go to Manny Robles, or else go to Joel Diaz. Joel Diaz has all those Russians, and those Russians, dude. I hear that his training there, the sparring, it's the real deal. You know what I mean? Go with the Russians. Go with Joel Diaz, not with Robert Garcia. I'm not saying Robert is great, but Robert has too many fighters. He's not going to give him the time that he needs, but Manny Robles will. I like him with Manny Robles or Joel Diaz. And you know who else even? Usyk's trainer. I mean,
Okay.
Anthony Joshua's there now. We're going to see how much of a difference that's made. You know,
Hey, who is the biggest guy that Robert Garcia has? I mean, wait,
the big. You're talking about the heavyweight, because he had a heavyweight, I
does he
believe,
have
from
heavyweight?
Nebraska. He had a kid from Nebraska. Uh,
Okay.
that was his only heavyweight, and I think he got knocked out or something. So I don't think he's there anymore, because I took my grandchildren there 2 years ago, and they took pictures with him. Trying to remember his name, but he was from Nebraska, Idaho, somewhere. But I don't think he has any heavyweights right now.
Does he have any guys that are above 154 pounds?
You know what? I don't. I think he probably does, but they're not famous. The one that he did was Caballo. Remember we had Caballo? He had him
Okay.
for a
Yeah.
while. I think he's probably the last 160 pounder that's come out of there.
Okay. Okay. Because Robert Garcia strikes me as a guy that doesn't really mess with big dudes. He doesn't
He
strike me as a
wants them
guy.
though. He wants them. He wants heavyweights.
Okay. I I
Yeah.
I I don't know how many guys. I don't know how many big guys he's trained, but when I just think, just off the top of my head, he seems like he just sticks to the smaller guys and probably doesn't really go above 154, 160. It seems like it seems to me like Robert Garcia 160 is like his max. I'm not saying he wants that. I think that's just what his style and the way he trains kind of is a magnet to. So but I don't know. I just don't see him training too many big dudes. But yeah, we'll see what's up with Diego Pacheco. Like I said, I seen enough. To me, he's a B minus type of fighter. I don't see anything special in him. If he fights Munguia, that'll be good. That'd be great. He could make a nice little payday right there. But I don't ever see him being great. But again, I said that about Zurdo, and I'm not saying Zurdo is great, but he did get better. He did get better.
Hey, Ed, now that Crawford's retired, what if he goes to Crawford's trainer?
Yeah. Okay.
What's
Yeah.
his name?
Bomac.
¿Cómo se llama?
Bomac.
Bomac.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, now that Crawford's gone, hey, bring in Pacheco. I think that'd be good for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a real
We'll
deal.
yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Hey, David, we didn't bring this up, but the fight is made between Ryan and Barrios. Ryan, I'm sorry, Barrios actually hired Ryan's old trainer in Joe Goosen. What do you think about that, David? Do you think there's a little bit of a little bit of backstabbing there going on, or what's your thoughts on that? Ryan had a lot to say, as he always does. He's quite the character, but what's your thoughts on that?
I think the last great champion that Joe Goosen had was what's his name, Corrales, I believe. I believe that was his last really world champion. Please, somebody help me. I think it was
Oh, that's
him.
good.
Oh yeah, Lester Martinez. That's
He does.
another. Yeah,
Bomac trains Lester Martinez, yeah,
I
and
don't
he's
see him training for
168
Pacheco. Yeah,
pounder.
I
Yeah,
forgot about
yeah,
that. Lester
could be a
Martinez.
conflict of interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Uh, I'm not a big fan, bro. I'm not a big fan of Joe Goosen. What did he do for Ryan? Ryan never listened to him. You know what I mean? I'm little. I believe in loyalty because of
Mm.
who I am, my culture, the man that I am. I believe in loyalty, and I think Bob Santos was the best thing that could have ever happened to Barrios. You know what I mean? I mean, Bob Santos, he's a real deal. He's a good man. Why would he leave him? I mean, I don't see Joe Goosen any better than Bob Santos. Bob Santos is a real deal right now in this generation. So I personally have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Why would he leave Bob Santos? He's he's tied and won more with Bob Santos than he did in the past. Why would he leave him?
I
Lack of loyalty?
well, it can't be money, right? Because I think Joe Goosen actually charges more.
Well,
I,
I mean, I see it as lack of loyalty, Ed. And
no,
that's one
it
thing
could.
that I truly believe in is loyalty. And when I see the lack of, I have no respect for the person.
I'm with you, David. I'm with you. The reason why I bring up money is because I don't think Barrios has to pay Bob Santos as much as he has to pay Joe Goosen. I think Joe Goosen comes with a bigger price tag. You know, what has Joe Goosen really done? And I'm not
Exactly.
talking and I'm not talking about, hey, let's go back in the days, man, when we're watching our black and white TVs. I'm exaggerating, but everybody gets what I'm saying. But what has Joe Goosen done in the last 10 years? I don't.
Nothing. Nothing. I mean, please, somebody tell me. And you know what? I'm with you. You stay with the one who brought you to the dance. I am with
Mm,
you 100% on that. I believe in loyalty. And Bob Santos brought him to the dance, and now he leaves him.
yeah, I don't get the whole Joe Goosen thing. Ryan Garcia, look, when I went to Vegas to hang out with Ryan Garcia's family for the Ryan Tank fight. As soon as I got there, and everybody could go back because I said it. As soon as I got there, David, there would the family just. I mean, right when I got there, man. Right when I got there, the whole conversation was, "Hey, we got to leave Goosen. We got to leave Goosen." Now, I'm not saying this was Joe Goosen. It could have been Brian being a jackass, you know. It could have been, but apparently, and this was I got there like the morning of Friday. It's like late morning Friday for the weigh-ins. I got there, and even then, right there, they were just like, "Yeah, you know what? They're gonna leave Goosen. We're gonna leave Goosen." And I'm like, "Dude, the fight hasn't even happened yet, man. You guys are already here talking about that you're gonna leave Goosen." Like, yeah, you're gonna leave Goosen. Ryan said that Goosen, all he teaches you is how to keep your hands up. I don't know, but I think it makes it more intriguing for this fight. There's no love lost between Ryan and Joe Goosen, apparently, for whatever reason. I got no idea. I'll see if I could get a little bit more inside scoop. But yeah, I thought it makes it interesting. But I'm with you, David. I'm like, Bob Santos is actually doing some good work. Joe Goosen, I don't what's Savato doing? He does commentary. I mean, he was a trainer, yes, but I don't know what he's done in the last 10 years.
I
So
agree,
yeah,
100%.
yeah. David, uh, Bud Crawford, Terrence Bud Crawford comes out and says, you know what? I'm hanging him up. I'm going out on top. So there will be no revancha. Now, let's keep in mind that Canelo had said not that long ago, he said that he's actually going to skip Cinco de Mayo and just go straight to September, thinking that he was going to get the Terrence Crawford fight. Terrence Crawford said he's hanging him up. He's retiring on top. That's all she wrote, and he's just going to enjoy his retirement. What's your thoughts, David?
You know what? God bless him. God bless him. And I hope he stays retired. Hey, he made over $50 million in his last fight. You know, over 50. Hey, what's up, Tony? Over $50 million. So you know what? That's enough to live on. And you know what? He's retiring on top. He still has his five senses. God bless him. And I love it because you know what? Now it opens up that division so everybody can fight.
Let me ask you this. Did you want him to stick around for any other fights? If it was up to you and it's like, man, you know what? I really want to see this fight with Crawford and insert other fighter.
The only fight I wanted to see was Canelo again, because
Okay.
I know Canelo, being the Chicano that I am, we want revenge. Whether we win or lose, we want revenge, just like he wants it with Bibon. And we'll talk about who Canelo's next opponent should be, and I'm going to give my opinion on that. But that's the only fight. No, I didn't want to see him fight Boots Ennis. Who has Boots Ennis fought for him to deserve a fight with Crawford? You know what I mean? They could have fought at 147, and now at 154. I mean, no, no. You know, if anybody against Virgil Ortiz, if I had
That
a dream fight, that's the only fight that I would have loved to see. And you know what? Believe it or not, Ed, I got Virgil Ortiz on that one.
that was my number one fight that I wanted to see. And I had told everybody, I said, look, I know I'm not gonna get my dream fight. I know I'm not gonna get it. But my dream fight was Virgil versus Bud Crawford. That was my dream fight. And I knew I wasn't gonna get it. I knew that a few years ago, especially when the whole reality came that Crawford was it. Actually, fight Canelo, I said, I'm never gonna get that dream fight, man, because there's no way that Crawford's gonna fight Virgil Ortiz for peanuts on the dollar that he's making with Canelo. Um, should it, in your opinion, David? Okay, now we all get the business, and yes, it's up to Crawford whether he wants to continue or not continue. It's totally up to him. You could respect him for it, and that's cool. That's great. But David, in your opinion, just as a man, should Crawford somewhat, at least in here, owe Canelo a rematch?
No, dude, he
No.
beat him fair and square, man. I know Mikey. Mikey says that it was scripted, dude. He beat Canelo fair and square, and if they fought again, I think he'd beat Canelo again. You know what I mean? Now, if Canelo fights Bivol, I'll tell you different. I have Canelo winning against Bivol, the rematch. But against Crawford, dude, there's no way. There's no way he would beat. He'd beat Canelo exactly the same way, or probably even worse this next time.
Yeah, G Funky. I mean, Crawford did say something that he would want him 100 million to fight Canelo again. So whether he was serious about that or not serious about that, I don't know. But um, look, to me, did I really want to see the rematch? Like, was I really at the edge of my seat to see the rematch? No, no, because just like you, David, I think Crawford will beat Canelo
Oh
again.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's paying to him. Gave him
yeah,
a boxing lesson.
yeah. The
Yeah.
the only the only one that doesn't believe that is Mikey, and he's not.
And you know what? He exposed Canelo. He exposed Canelo. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So
Shauna Rain, 50 million isn't nothing. Really? You got $1 million in the bank, bro? I mean,
well,
50 million is a lot of money. It's a
well,
lot of money to buy
well, I
properties, to invest and double it. And then his best friend, Crawford's best friend, literally his best friend is what's the name of that guy that's a multi millionaire? He's an investor. He's real famous. He goes to all of his fights. What's his name?
Jimmy
Uh,
Buffett.
no, no, not Jimmy Buffett. Come on, somebody help me. G Funky, you know what I'm talking about. This guy's a an investor. He's from Nebraska. He goes to all his fights, and he's a multi millionaire. He's a billionaire, as a matter of fact. He's really famous, and he goes to all of Crawford's fights. He'll invest that 50 million and make a billion out of that. What's his
Okay.
name? Buffett? Is it Buffett?
I don't know.
I
Well,
think
hey,
it's Buffett.
while everybody on the chat does the investigation and find out, Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. There you
Warren
go.
Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Warren
There it
Buffett.
is. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
That's him.
Warren Buffett. Okay. Uh, look, I think I will say this. Look, Crawford obviously doesn't owe anybody anything, but just in my opinion, in a way, just morally, not through contract or legally or anything, morally, if Canelo wanted a rematch, I think he should have gave it to him because going into that fight, everybody knew that Canelo was the guy.
Yeah.
He is the guy bringing in the money. Not to say that Crawford's not bringing in the money, but what Crawford brought was maybe not a huge fan base, but he brought the idea of, hey, this guy probably can be Canelo,
The
and
underdog.
and that interest he did bring that. So it's not just 100% Canelo. So he did bring something to the table, and I thought just for that he probably should run it back and give Canelo the revancha. But nonetheless, he's choosing not to. He's walking away. He said, "Hey, double my pay, make it 100 mil." I don't think it's worth that. I don't think this. Do you think the revancha makes as much or more money, David? I don't
You
think
know
it
what?
would.
I'll quote Mikey. Mikey once said, and he said it over and over again, Crawford can't sell a chicken dinner at a dogfight. I mean, Crawford doesn't pull people in. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that charisma. He doesn't pull people in. It was Canelo that brought people in. And I agree with Chief Funky. He was asking for 100 million. He's not going to bring people in, even whomever he fights. If he fights Boots Ennis, it's not going to bring in $100 million worth of revenue just to pay him. So I think that they probably brought it to his attention. I think Turkey probably sat down with him, says, "We're never going to pay 100 million. You don't bring people in." And he goes, "Well, I'm leaving." Okay, goodbye. You know what I mean? I think that's probably where it went
There
because he
was
can't. He doesn't have that charisma. He can't. Nobody can other than Canelo.
Well, look for sure, and we've been saying this. We've been saying this for weeks. There was no other fight out there for Crawford. Well, he would even make 25 million or
No,
20.
no.
There was no fight where he would even come close to making what he made in that Canelo fight. Not even close to it. The whole Yanni Beck thing, if he went to 160, even if he stayed at 168, there is no fight where he's even going to come close to making that amount of money. The only thing that was close was another rematch. And I honestly, I don't think the rematch would have sold as much.
No.
Maybe it would have.
And you know
Maybe it
what? I
would have.
agree with Sean. He says Crawford has a personality of a what is it? A plank of wood.
Think of what.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
right. He
So
has no personality, man.
only a rematch with Canelo makes sense for Crawford. Yeah, there was no money in any
No,
fight.
no.
Think of anybody at 168. Think of anybody at 160. Heck, even think of anybody at 154.
No.
You know, there might have been some good fights for real boxing fans that don't really care about, hey, how much money are you making? There's some great matches. I want to make that clear. Are there some great fights for Crawford? Absolutely. Yeah, man. Especially at 154. Oh, heck yeah. But the money that he made with Canelo, nothing's going to come close with any of these other guys, man. Because, yeah, you're right. He's not that big of a superstar. And beating the big superstar, we already know beating the big superstar doesn't make you a big superstar. Look at Bivon. So let's get into that now, David, before we get into the to the greatest fighter from Puerto Rico, Jake Paul. Let's get into that now, David. Now, where does this leave Canelo? Now,
You know what?
Canelo, he had his plans, David. He had his plans. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna skip Cinco de Mayo, and I want to go into a Bud Crawford fight in September. The revancha. Let's do it. Vatos locos forever. Crawford is gone. All the belts are relinquished. Canelo does what now, David?
Fight Shiraz.
Okay.
Fights Mabili or Shiraz. And if they don't want to put him against Shiraz, which I don't think he'll fight Shiraz. I don't think he'll fight Shiraz. Do the rematch against Vivon. Do the rematch against Vivon. And then let him retire after that. I think he'll beat Vivon. I really do. Even though he's older now, I think that he will beat Vivon. And if he doesn't, who cares? Then he retires.
Mikey
But
cares.
that's
Mikey
that's
would
the
care.
rematch. Huh?
Mikey would care. You're asking who
Oh
cares?
yeah.
Mikey would care. Mikey would care. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody in the chat, what's next for Canelo? And by the way, I do, because you've been saying this over and over, David, and I gotta disagree with you, Humps. I think Bivol puts it to Canelo.
No, no, he doesn't, bro.
I
He
think he
doesn't.
does. As a matter of fact,
He's a
as a
different
matter of
fight.
fact,
Bivon's a different fighter than Crawford. Is a much different fighter than Crawford. And Canelo will get his timing. Canelo will beat him. Canelo would beat him. I mean, I'm not going to put any money. I never bet on fights. But if I were going to bet, I would put some money, not a lot, but I would put some money if I were going to, which I don't, on Canelo. I think Canelo can and will beat Bivol. That's the only guy that I believe he'll beat. I don't think he'll beat Shiraz. I don't even think he'll beat Mabili right now. But I
oh,
think that he can beat Mivon. For whatever reason, I could see that, but not against these other youngsters. These youngsters, Canelo, they'll beat him.
okay, okay. I was just about to go off right now on how much I think Bivol would beat Canelo, but shout outs to my boy Dimitro right here because I completely forgot about that. Bivol had back surgery. I completely forgot about Bivol's back surgery. So if Canelo is the first fight for Bivol coming back from back surgery, then I'd say, okay, I think he stands a chance now. But if it weren't for the back surgery, I'm telling everybody right now, I think Canelo stands a better chance in beating Crawford than he does beating Bivol.
Let me
I
tell you
think
what happened in the Bivol fight, real quick.
okay. All right.
But Canelo has always been a meat eater. For the Bivol fight, he went vegan. He had never,
Right.
after that fight, he never went back to being a vegan again. He went back to eating meat. But for the Bivol fight, he changed his diet. He had either shoulder or arm he was hurt during the fight. He wasn't the same Canelo. And you know what? He got a chance to be in the ring with him. And I think that he's got his timing. I think it'll be a very, very different fight. And I think it'll be a close fight, but I think Canelo can take him. I really do. He's the only one. I don't see him beating Beaterby. I don't see him beating Beaterby. And it doesn't make sense for me to say that he could possibly beat Bivol, but yet Shiraz, I'm telling you, can probably take him, and Mabili can probably take him. That'd be a good fight. Resendez against Shiraz, that'd be a damn good fight.
That'd
That's
be
a good
good.
one.
We definitely got to see more of Resendiz. We definitely
Yes,
got to see
we do.
more of him, especially now that he's been elevated to full champion. I forgot what alphabet title it is, but since he's been elevated to full champion, we got to see more of him. Look, for Canelo, okay, let me ask you this then, David. Should he still skip the Cinco de Mayo date?
Oh, he's not. He's done. He's done. That's done and over with. You got two big fights that day. You got
He,
Pacheco. I mean, not Pacheco. You got what's his name? Benavides.
Benavides?
Oh yeah, they already got the signed contract. Everything's already done. And there's another fight on that day. I'm trying to think. I saw two fighting for that date. And I think it's Ryan Garcia's part of that next one. I read about it. I just read about it not too long ago. Those are the two big fights coming up. I think Ryan Garcia is part of that.
Well, Ryan has a fight with Barrios at the end of January, so we'll see what happens with that. But no, you're right. They're trying to take over that Cinco de Mayo date. Look, I still think Canelo is somewhat of a cash cow. I think if he gets the right opponent, I think he'll still overshadow. He's probably not as big of a star as he once was, but I think he'll still go ahead and overshadow a lot of these guys that are still trying to come up. What's the plan, David? Should he still try to unify again, or yeah?
No, he's done. He's done at 168. He's done at 168.
So you're saying he's going to 175?
I think for that one fight only against Bivol, just to gain his manhood back. We're gonna call it's not really his manhood, but I'm gonna call it that. I think just to get his revenge, he stays he goes to 175 and then he retires. And then if he has two more fights, then he comes and fights Shiraz, who will probably be the world champion. We'll probably have two bouts by then, next year, next May.
Yeah, Shiraz is a beast, man. Shiraz is a beast.
He's a beast.
Yeah, Gordito. We jumped on an hour early, brother, just because of what's going down on Netflix tonight. Canelo versus Jake in May. Good gosh, man. We'll see if Jake is still in one piece after tonight. But Yeah, you know what? I think at some point it's time for Canelo to retire.
Yeah.
I don't think, David, he wants to go out on a loss. And I don't think he wants to go out just on any win. Like, hey, just give me a tomato can just so I could win. And then there, I go off into the sunset. I think he wants to win a good one. A Bivol fight would be good. I just don't think he will win, David. I just don't think
I
he
mean, win or lose, I think that would be a good fight. You know what I mean? For him to go out, whether on top. I mean, he's going against the undefeated fighter. He's going yeah. He's undefeated. It was a tie against uh, right. I mean, so he's going against an undefeated fighter.
with
Uh,
Shiraz.
no, against Bivol.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's still undefeated. I mean, and
Well,
he's
Bivol.
going. I think I'd love to see that fight. Oh, Benavides will spank Canelo right now. I know it doesn't make sense, guys. I know it doesn't make sense, but for whatever reason, I called it. Everybody was saying Canelo, and I said Canelo's going to lose, but he's going to get him on the payback. I said that
Man,
when that fight happened. I don't know if you remember. I called
man,
it.
I'll tell you, man. When Mikey rewatches this, he's gonna be very unhappy, man. It would be Canelo versus Colum again. No, I think
No,
Canelo. Look, he's got a lot of fights, a lot of miles on his
yes, he
odometer
does.
in the ring, and I think it's gonna. I think 2026 might be the time for him to retire. But I don't think he just wants to win against anybody, somebody that you've never heard of, or somebody that he's highly favored against. Maybe a Bivol fight will be good for him, and then retire. You know, if he could get that victory, I don't think he will, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see in the next coming up weeks, man. What's the plans for Canelo? But now at 168, it's an open field. Outside of Resendiz, you got 3 titles out there just floating around, and time for these guys to mix it up. So it's exciting. It's exciting. Let's see what happens with that. David, let's go ahead and let's get into what's happening tonight on Netflix. It's already underway. You got Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. They swear up and down, David. I mean, you got some pretty good stuff on here that I kind of want to see. You know, Anderson Silva is fighting the Woodley guy. That's just kind of fun, I guess. Alicia Baumgartner, she's in the co-main event. That's cool. Jake Paul, he's huge on women boxing. So shouts to that. But let's just stick with the main event here, David. They swear up and down, but from Joshua to Jake Paul to Eddie Hearn, everybody that's involved is promising us that this is not fixed, that this is not choreographed, that this is legit, that it's not, oh, Anthony Joshua, you know, he's getting paid a little bit of feria. There's a script to follow. Don't hurt Jake Paul too badly. Everyone is swearing up and down on their mother's name, David, that this is not scripted whatsoever, that this is legit. What's your thoughts on this?
You know what? Anthony Joshua has a lot to lose because I guess he's already signed a contract or is in the process of signing a contract to fight. What's his name? I just the other
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Tyson
Tyson
Fury.
Fury, and that's going to be a huge money. That's going to be 100 million, 150 million dollar fight.
Yeah.
On this one right now, he's probably making over 100 million. So now he has the next one against Tyson Fury. You know what? He can't afford to lose, and he can't afford to win mediocre. He has to knock him out. He has to knock him out. And you know what? If Tyson's Fury was it his little brother, his nephew, that beat Jake Paul, dude, this guy right here. I mean, he's six. What is he? 6'9" or
Uh,
6'7"?
Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua, yeah.
I think he's 6'6".
So 6'6".
Yeah.
I mean, weighing 243.4. I mean, the guy looks chilled. I know he hasn't fought in 15 months. In his last fight, he got knocked out. Well, not completely knocked out. They stopped the fight. Uh, he needs to knock him out. I mean, if he wants to sell out Wembley Stadium, where I believe that's where the fight's going to be against Fury, he needs to knock him out. and if he knocks him out, it's okay because what happened to Canelo after he lost against Mayweather? He became famous. He became the face of boxing. So if Jake Paul gets knocked out by Anthony Joshua, he will still continue with his promotions and people will still follow him because he got knocked out by a former champion who's twice as big as him.
Yeah, Mark Salinas from PYP Boxing, who is the best bald-headed Chicano that covers
Commentator,
boxing,
commentator.
commentator for boxing. He's saying that he interviewed somebody from MVP, which is Jake Paul's promotion. And again, they're saying that this is legit, that there is no, funny business in the contracts. It's saying like, no, 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 you can't knock somebody out. They're all swearing up and down, which they can do that. They can, swear up and down and everything. If it is legit, then we all know what to expect. Okay. How much credit do you give to Jake Paul for taking this fight, David? Do you give him any respect, or is he just tonto? I mean, there's a fine line.
Give credit to Jake Paul or to
Jake Paul. Look, there's a fine line between having heart and having balls, and then being just stupid. I think this is somewhere right around the Mason-Dixon line right here. I mean, is he stupid or does he have balls?
I think he has balls.
Okay.
I think he has balls, and I think he's going to run all night, try to run all night, and then just try to do an Andy Reese, swing all night long. But I think he's going to run, and I think that he's going to run all night. He's not going to trade with him, and if he does trade with him, he's going to get caught. You know what I mean? I think he's going to run. And I had read somewhere that he got a trainer that's all they do, man, is run, run, run. So he's going to come in really, he weighed 216 and really good physical, cardiovascular condition. So that's the only way he's going to be able to last is running. He cannot trade with him. He's too big.
Yeah, he's always been a big guy in the ring, Jake Paul, but this time, I mean, you see the size difference. Hey, P-Town, when is that? I just saw that they faced off. I don't know when. Armando Vargas is fighting some YouTuber guy. I don't know when that is. I don't know if it's part of this card or not. But apparently, one of the Vargas brothers, the real flashy one with the Jerry curls, he's fighting.
Who's this guy, Dean the Great? I've never heard of him.
He's some YouTube guy, some social media guy. I don't know. My son told me about him. Some black dude. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. I saw that they sat down and had like a face-off, but I got no information on the fight. So I predict a draw. David, can this go all 8 rounds and go to the scorecards?
You know what, Puerto Rico Rum, no disrespect, brother. I hope you're wrong. I truly do. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. I want to see Jake Paul. No disrespect toward him. I have nothing against him. I want to see him get knocked out by a real former champion. It's time that they teach him a lesson, like he was trying to teach, Mike Tyson and a lot of former world champions. Dude, 60-year-old man he's fighting. So no, yes, and it's a 22-foot ring. Because why? Because he's going to be running all night long.
He's going to be running. So look, in my opinion, Jake Paul can survive a few rounds. I know people are saying like, oh, it's going to be over in the first round or in the second round. I'm like, wait a second. This is a 22-foot ring. He can survive. I don't think he could survive all 8 rounds, but I think he could survive, David, 3, 4, maybe even 5 rounds, depending on how much gas he has just running around the ring, just trying to stay away from Anthony Joshua. So just because he doesn't get knocked out in the first 2 rounds, like everybody's saying he should, or if not, there's some funny business going on. It depends what happens. If he stands there and tries to fight it out with Joshua, then yeah, it should be over pretty damn quick. But if he's, using the whole ring, 22 feet, I think he could survive a couple of rounds. Okay, that fight is tomorrow on the Zone. Okay.
Oh, so Amado is fighting this YouTuber on the Zone tomorrow?
Tomorrow on the Zone.
Oh, okay. I'll have to see it.
Okay, not Andy Ruiz drops weight. This fool.
Yeah, he's
Armando Vargas, find a YouTuber. Yeah, but Armando Vargas, he's the one that's out of the 3 brothers. Armando is the one that's just about flashiness and money and looking good and all that stuff. But well, David, if you got to call this fight, how do you call it? what round does it end?
Sixth round, fifth or
Okay.
sixth round, fifth or sixth round. And you
Okay.
know what, Mark? He's not going to guess out. He's been with his new trainer that he has. He could go 12 rounds and run all around the ring. That's why he asked for the bigger ring, and you're going to see him. He's going to run like never before. But he's going to try to do the Andy Reese, which he's not an Andy Reese. Don't get me wrong, but he's going to try to do that wild swing and try to catch him. But he's never going to trade with him. He'll get knocked out.
Yeah, Andy Ruiz has fast hands. Jake Paul does
Yeah.
not have that. Jake Paul is sponsored for this fight by Schwinn.
That's a good one.
I don't think it's over in the first round, and I don't think it's over in the second round, because I do think Jake Paul is going to use the entire ring, move around until he just can't move around anymore, and eventually he'll get him. And look, there's talks, and I know these are just rumors. I haven't heard anything from the actual Jake Paul camp, but there's talks that Jake Paul is looking just to cash out and then just run his promotion. I mean, he's made a lot of money, David. He's made a lot of money.
Yes.
I mean, does he really want to keep boxing? Does he really want to be going through training camps? Because he takes the training camp serious. I've said it before. Everybody could hate this guy, but he trains his ass off. You know, it's very late in the game to pick up some real good boxing skills. So I think he's.
I don't know if you know, but he has a new trainer now. Yes, he's in Usyk's training camp. Usyk's trainer,
Yeah.
remember? So
Yeah.
we're going to see a totally different. We're going to see a totally different Anthony that we have never seen before. He's been training with Usyk's trainer for the past 2 months.
Yeah. Well,
I can't wait. It's going to be good.
I actually like Jake Paul, man, so I don't really want to see him get too hurt, but nonetheless, I think he gets knocked out, and I think I don't think that's it for Jake Paul, though. I think he earns respect, and yeah, there's a fine line between having balls and being dumb, and I think he's riding that line right now. I think he is. But with all that being said, David, anything else, brother, before we wrap it up?
You know what? No, brother, just you know what? Merry Christmas to everybody. Don't drink and drive, and you know what? Have a wonderful time with your family, and don't forget, there's always somebody that doesn't have anybody in their life. Give that one person a call, because that one phone call may save their life.
Amen to that. To all the chingones, to all the chingonas, to our brother Mikey, who's not here, to you, David. Hey, Merry Christmas to everybody. And yeah, just like you said, man, there's people out there that don't have that one person. So if you know somebody like that, reach out to them. But with all that, have fun with the tamales. Have fun with the pozole. It's going to be great. Man, I'm going to take Tupperware so I could bring back so much leftovers, man. Hey, you guys enjoy the fights. Be safe doing it. Have a Merry Christmas so we come back and we could do it again. Catch you guys on next round.